All right, if you can hear me, just type in a yes into the chat so I know that I am audible and you can hear me clearly. Just type in a yes into the chat. Just to know that I'm loud and clear. Thanks, Priscilla. Esther, thanks a whole lot. And thank you for joining us today. We're going to have an amazing session. And today's session would center around sharing my experience, and Femena also sharing his own experience, and then we will show you the different pathways and the opportunities available in the tech ecosystem. All right. So you have a friend, you know, somebody that should be here, reach out to them, let them join us today. Okay. And we're going to get started right away and expose you to the possibilities that you have available within the tech ecosystem, how we were able to transition and how you can also transition as well into the tech ecosystem. Okay, so let's get right into it. And I'll go ahead and share my slides and I'll drive the conversation from my slides today. But just before we get started, I'd like to know where you're joining us from. Okay, so just type into the chat. If you are joining us from Ontario in Canada, you're joining from Edmonton, joining from the US, Chicago, Illinois, just type into the chat. Let's know where you are joining us from. Faith is joining from Ontario. I guess right. Thanks, Faith, for joining us today. Esther is joining from Nigeria. Fantastic. I like the way you guys are using the flag. Okay, so let's get to hear from other people. Where are you joining us from? Elvis is joining from Toronto, Vancouver. Absolutely brilliant. All right. Otache is joining from Nigeria. Fantastic. Okay, and that's the beauty of sessions like this. You get to interact with your contemporaries in multiple regions and different other locations. Okay, so let's get started with our session today. All right, so what are the different pathways available for those in the US, in Canada, in the UK, especially for tech talent? Okay, and that's why we are here today. And just to give a bit of a background as to who we are, what we do, and what we stand for at Tenalytics. And Tenalytics is an educational technology company. The focus for us is on helping more Africans and people of the Black community to get into tech. And we do this by providing you with the best premium training programs across different areas, from data analytics to data science, data engineering, and so on and so forth. And over the last 4 years, about 4 years, we've been able to help over 2,000 people to get their first jobs in tech and transition from the classroom to landing their very first jobs. And that's what we are all about, and the focus and the mission for us at Tenalytics is. And we do this and we pride ourselves on providing and bringing you the best professionals within the tech ecosystem, professionals that currently work in some of the biggest organizations like Apple, McKinsey, Microsoft. You are learning from the cream of the crop and the best within the ecosystem. All right. And that's just a brief. And of course, myself and Femena, we run the show at Tenalytics in terms of getting Tenalytics available for people like you to use it as a springboard to getting into the tech ecosystem. I'm a data analytics expert. I've worked as a data science consultant for organizations in the UK, in the US, and I've worked across 5 different sectors. And I'll be sharing a bit of my story today with you, every one of you, and how I was able to transition into the tech ecosystem. And of course, I'd allow Ifemena do just a bit of introduction. Ifemena will still come back to, of course, talk about a bit of himself as well and how he was also able to transition. So Ife, do you just want to say hi now before we go on? No, we can't hear you, Ife.
Partner, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, go. We can hear you now. Go on.
Okay, yes. Yeah, so good morning, good evening, regardless of your time zone. I'm happy for you guys to be here today. And I'll definitely be coming back to talk more about my experience, how I was able to transition from a non-technical background to, getting into the tech space, and how I have leveraged several, how would I say, tech pathways for people that are looking to transition into the tech space. But anyways, I'll come back to talk more about that as we go on during the session. All right. So Adeza, yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Efemena. So let's get into it, how we began our journey, where it all started from. And it's very important because for some of you, you'd be able to resonate with how we started. And I'm sure you'd learn one or two things from our story at the end of today's session. So first of all, again, my name is Adeza Suleiman, and my first degree was in industrial chemistry. So nothing related to tech. I did nothing related to computer science. And this goes, against the common perception out there that for me to have a successful career in tech, I must have a computer background or a tech-related degree. But my first degree was in industrial chemistry. And my very first job was also as a management consultant. All right. So I didn't start out in the tech ecosystem. I started out as a management consultant, and a management consultant with a company called FITC in the financial services sector. And FITC is owned by the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, that's the NDIC, and also the Bankers Committee. All right. So a company in the financial services sector, I started out as a management consultant. And management consultants are simply professionals that go into organizations, try to find opportunities to optimize the performance of those organizations. And that was what I did for so many organizations, so many clients. I worked with companies like the Bank of Industry, the BOI, the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, Access Bank, NDIC, Bank of Agriculture, so many organizations, and I worked as a management consultant. And the very first time I got introduced into any type of project that looked like it had something to do with data was when I worked on a project with NNPC, the largest national integrated oil and gas company in Nigeria. And at this time, myself and Efemena had started to learn Excel on our own. And my Excel skills at this particular time was very, very basic. So I'd worked with so many organizations, but then the very first time I had to use Excel to do something was when I was on a project with NNPC. And I only knew how to use Excel. I had no other skill as a data analyst or as somebody who knew how to analyze data or anything in that regard. So with the basic Excel skill I had, I worked on this particular project with my organization, the FITC. I was able to complete that project, okay? And looking back today, looking at what I did at that time, I feel very embarrassed because I think that was the basic, and the report looks very shabby to me. And of course, I did it looking at the limitation of my skills at that particular point in time. But then everybody else on the team looked at the report and they were impressed because nobody else could use Excel even at the basic level. And because I knew Excel at the basic level, I was able to come up with something. And by doing that alone, it threw me into the spotlight. I won an award in my organization for delivering exceptional performance on a project just by using basic Excel. So I started to see the opportunities and the impact I could have by understanding something related to data. And I decided, myself and Efemena, we started to learn and improve our skills a little bit more beyond just Excel. And I knew that if I'm going to take my skills to the next level, we had done some research. Efemena had researched, I had done a little bit of research, and we had these conversations among ourselves, and we were learning together, showing each other, oh, this is what I know. This is how I think this can be done. Efemena showing and saying that I think this can be done a lot faster using this particular tool in Excel. I remember learning the pivot table for the very first time and so excited about knowing what the pivot table could do. So after Excel, we decided that to take this to the next level, we needed to add to the Excel that we already knew. and we were still learning at that particular point in time. So we started to learn Power BI and SQL, right? And learning was very, very important. And I also knew that if I'm going to take the role of a data analyst a bit more seriously and apply to jobs that would give me the opportunity to shine and work for some of the biggest organizations across the globe, I would have to improve my skills. So started to learn Power BI, started to learn SQL and applying to jobs. And I got so many rejections because I was applying to jobs where the requirements were always above my current skills at that point in time. The years of experience, the type of skills required, they were all above me, but I kept on applying. And eventually I was able to land a job with Sahara Group. And this was where I took my data analytics skills from somebody who knew only Excel. I had added Power BI. I had also added SQL to my skills. And I applied to this job that required heaven and earth. The job at Sahara required me to have Python. Okay, before I applied, MongoDB was also a requirement to get this job. All right, but I ignored the fact that they required Python, they required MongoDB, and I went ahead to still apply to the job. And look at us today. I got the job with Sahara Group. And while I was with Sahara Group, one of the largest privately owned energy conglomerates in sub-Saharan Africa, I got to work for 4 different companies under the group simultaneously, not at different intervals. So I worked with Egbin Power PLC, the largest privately owned power generating company in sub-Saharan Africa. I worked with Ikeja Electric, the largest privately owned power distribution company in West Africa. FIPL, which is a power generating company in Rivers State, somewhere in Nigeria. And of course, Energy Trading Center, a trading company for the manufacturing and the power sector. So I worked for these 4 different companies under the Sahara Power Group. And I worked for them at the same time, analyzing the data generated from the company, extracting insights to help the owners of the company and the management to take decisions. And I started to ask myself the question that this particular role required Python and MongoDB while I was applying. And there was no single day I was ever required to use Python to carry out any of my activities. All the things I needed to do to ensure that the business knew what to do to go to the next level, I did that using only Excel, Power BI, and SQL. And I did some fantastic work when working with Sahara Group. But I knew that, and I didn't settle for just what I was doing at that point in time. I also wanted to work for organizations abroad, organizations in the US, organizations in the UK. And at this time, Efemena had left Nigeria. He had relocated to Ireland at this particular point in time. So I felt I could do a little bit more. And Efemena was talking about contract jobs, was talking about the opportunities available in the UK, opportunities available in Ireland, and how contract was a way to go. And I saw that to take my skill to the next level, to help me apply to those jobs, I had to continuously learn. So learning was always continuous for me. And I did it afraid. I was afraid while doing this because I wasn't sure if I was on the right track, if this was what I needed to do. Kept on learning continuously. It was at that time I learned Python, machine learning, and so on. And with this, I was able to get jobs. So I had started working for companies in the US and in the UK. But I saw that to make a little bit of more money, I needed to add Python to my skills because I could work as a data scientist, work on more projects, and earn more money. So I decided to learn. Learning was always continuous. And that was where I started to work on contracts for companies in the US and in the UK. And I was earning in dollars and pounds, living in Nigeria, and I was earning in dollars, spending in Naira, and life was good. I worked for different companies in the US and the UK, and I did some amazing work for those companies. I was always learning. Learning was always a constant in my journey. And what was also very important to note is I started even with the fact that I had only Excel. okay, I decided to jump all in and ensure that I added more to my skills, kept on improving, and so on and so forth. So I started to see the opportunities within the tech ecosystem. Same with Efemena, numerous opportunities. If I had interacted with so many people, and I realized that if I was doing this, working for companies in the US, working for companies in the UK, solving problems for them and earning a decent amount of money. I interact with people that left Nigeria at that point in time. And every time we talked, it was all about the care jobs, doing the menial jobs and so on. And it was then it dawned on me that a lot of people don't actually know that this particular opportunity exists. And that was how Tenalytics was birthed. We saw that there was a need for us to have a platform to help other people like us, other Africans, to take advantage of the opportunities that exist in their respective regions. And that was how we built Tenalytics, to help more Africans to transition into the tech ecosystem. So rather than doing the type of jobs you would ordinarily not want to do, how do you get into the tech ecosystem, compete for some of the best jobs available out there? And that was how we built Tenalytics. And from 2020 till date, we have helped over 2,000 people across different locations and across different job roles to get their very first job from the classroom into transitioning into a tech role. Be data analysts, business analysts, data engineers, and you have so many of them across different locations, over 2,000 within the space of 3 years plus. And these are programs across different areas. You have the Scrum, cybersecurity, data engineering, and so on and so forth. We saw the opportunity and we saw that so many other people had no clue that these opportunities exist. If I'm going to move abroad, why should I move abroad and compete for the jobs that I don't want to do? I have to work in jobs that would require some physical activities that can be very, daunting, especially on your health eventually. So at this point in time, I had also moved to the UK. I left Nigeria, moved to the UK to ensure that we are able to propagate the awareness within the tech ecosystem. So I moved to the UK, stayed in the UK, interacted with people to also help more people understand that the opportunities in the tech ecosystem are enormous and you can also transition into the tech ecosystem. So before I even moved to the UK, I had already worked for so many companies in the US and also in the UK, leveraging the skills I was able to learn over the years, myself and Efemena. It was difficult and it was tough because we had no mentors. There was nobody to say, this is what you need to do. This is what you shouldn't do. So we're doing everything the way we thought it was best at that point in time. However, while we did that, we learned things that were relevant and things that were also irrelevant along the line. And that gave us the insights into building a platform for people like you so that you don't make the same mistakes that we made and you have a structured learning approach as you transition into the tech ecosystem. And this is just, I would say, a 5 to 7 minutes overview of my career journey, close to a decade when I started right from this point with very basic understanding of Excel. I added to my Excel skills, added Power BI and SQL, and I moved into this company where I got to do amazing work in the power sector, working for 4 different companies. And then I launched myself into remote work and also working remotely for some of the biggest companies in the US and in the UK. And that gave me a whole lot of insight into how we can also provide that same opportunity for more Africans within the space. All right. So I'll get Efemena to also give a bit of, his own story and how he was able to transition. And I'm sure you'd pick 1 or 2 things from here as well. So Ife, over to you.
All right. Do you want me to share my screen or just okay? Let me just share my screen then.
All
Okay. Hello, guys. Oh, absolutely. I'm so excited to have you guys on board today. And we're going to be learning a lot from our discussion that we're going to be doing today. Okay. And essentially, yeah, in order for us to discuss about this, the key thing for us to know the background, where are we coming from? Adeza spoken about his background, and it started with industrial chemistry. First degree was in industrial chemistry. Mine was in economics. So my first degree was in economics, which was nothing technical. It was not obviously economics is just a little bit of statistics here and there, but nothing technical, nothing IT related. All right. And getting into, the next role, the first job I actually got myself into was as a management consultant at ITC. So you would know where myself and Adiza have met, okay, where we met the first time. So we started working as interns at FITC. And, from interns, we were able to climb the ladder, I started, we climbed the ladder essentially. So, while working as a management consultant, I got to interact with quite a number of very experienced top level management, teams of different organizations, of different banks, of different regulators, the likes of the NDIC, SEC, to CBN and so on. And even the leading banks in Nigeria. Started talking to them, for somebody that had economics I had economics in my undergrad, okay? And I wasn't somebody that was, I wasn't tailored towards career. I wasn't tailored towards, professional career. All right. I wanted to do something for myself. I wanted to start something, build a business or something. All right. Well, interacting with these people, all right, top level management, I'm talking about CEOs, I'm talking about directors, I'm talking about, associate directors, and so on, like the key people that are making key decisions within the organization. And interacting with these people, I got to know that majority of them had second class or lower, second class lower. Some of them are third class. Some of them don't even have secondary school university, degree. All right. When they grew the ladder, they started taking, advanced programs and all those 2 weeks program in Harvard and all that. That's what they started doing. That's what they did. But the background was not something that they depended on in order for them to grow their career. Okay, I had a second class. I had the second class upper. Okay, that's what they call it. Okay, I've been forgotten. I had the second class upper. But when I saw interacted with these people and I saw how well they were able to build a career for themselves, I said, okay, do you know what? Something that stood out with these people was they were good at something. All right. So even though they had second class lower, even though they were third class or they did not have a university degree, but there was something that they were good at. If it was risk management, they were the best in the industry. If it was, credit risk, if it was banking, retail banking, if it was, computer, the IT aspect, they were good at it. They were very, very good at what they were doing. So, for us, myself and the days that we went back to think, what were we good at? Okay. And we started to see research areas that we could be good at. Okay. So for myself, I started with financial modeling. All right. So I went ahead to, I went for courses, I went to pay for courses, and, I learned financial modeling. I learned Excel during the classes. And from there, started training people, started training organization within FITC, went by ahead to start teaching, not just businesses within FITC, also went ahead to start teaching other businesses. All right. So SMEs to, other banks to FMCG companies that were looking to do trainings in financial modeling and analysis using Microsoft Excel. Okay. And from there, obviously when you start something small, it starts to grow. And that's how I started doing a little bit of data analytics consulting back in Nigeria. So the consulting I was working on were majorly small, medium organizations. I wanted to make sense of their data. So any opportunity I had to work with data, I was looking for it. And in this conversation, I was still working full time as a consultant. So I was looking for experience, essentially. I was looking for how I could garner experience in data analytics. Hence the reason why I was training. Hence the reason why we started the data analytics consulting aspect where we're working with businesses that were struggling with their data. I was doing all this small work here and there. Some of them were pro bono, some of them were free. Like when I say pro bono, it means it was free of charge. But from there, I was able to grow, okay, and understand the industry a little bit better. All right. And working as a management consultant back in the days, I was earning a lot. It was okay at that point in time. It was very good. Okay, and data at that point in time in Nigeria it wasn't relevant. It wasn't a career path that most people would want, most organizations want to pay the big bucks for. All right. So majority of the roles that were coming up at that point in time were not very competitive with the current salary I was earning at that time. Okay. So, it wasn't worth it for me to take a pay cut. And that's one thing I would tell most people, because I was actually tempted to take it also. There were quite a number of good firms that were willing to give me, yeah, I would say half of what I was earning. All right. Most people would have taken an offer to say that, okay, let me take a pay cut and gain experience. But I'm not of that opinion. Okay. So what I did was to relocate. I moved to Ireland. Okay. And moved to Ireland. I got a master's degree in data analytics. And even after getting the master's, I was looking for a job. And it took me over 3 months. Okay. And I was getting loads and loads of rejection emails. All right. And after getting so many rejections, okay, I'll do interview, first level interview, get a rejection email, first level interview. I never got past the first level interview. But the good thing was I was getting calls, okay? So something was working. But the other thing now was probably the approach, okay? Or maybe, there was something wrong. There was something I was doing wrongly in the first level, okay? So during the first level interview, okay, I was always, with that Nigerian mentality whereby you talk about, oh, I want to grow with the organization. Okay, I want to grow with the organization. I want to start from the bottom and work my way up to the top, understand the roots, and imbibe myself in the culture. So that mentality I brought from Nigeria, all right, I was using it to cajole Irish recruiters, but it never worked. Okay, and I'll tell you why it didn't work, because of one particular encounter, like I mentioned, with one of the recruiters I was speaking to at that time. Okay. So the guy called me, told me, okay, pleasure to meet you, introduce yourself. And I went ahead to introduce myself, had a conversation. Long story short, okay, I was already going ahead to tell him I'm going to start from the root. I want to start from the root, understand the culture, grow with the organization. So the guy was looking at me like, bro, like, on your paper, on your CV, you say you have experience doing data analytics. Do you have this experience? I said yes. I was able to do this. I did this. I was able to do that, and I was not like, that's what I want to hear. Like that's what we would like to hear, not you starting and growing with the organization. So that guy actually, I would say that that's the guy that really made it a turning point for me. Okay, because if I continued, I would have never knew that. All right, I would have never known that. The way I was approaching the interview was very wrong. That's interviewing skills. Interviewing is actually a very good skill that people will fail at. Okay. And the reason why we are doing this is so that you don't fail also. Okay. So the guy told me that I shouldn't downplay my experience, that's the key thing. That's the key thing I should be pushing forward anytime I had an interview. All right. And I shouldn't talk more about my masters because it's not so relevant for them. It's the experience. Okay. They're not hiring, based on your qualification. They're hiring based on your experience. How have you used data analytics to solve business problems in this organization? So even though the guy corrected me and I went out, we had a very wonderful interview, the guy did not call me back. Okay. But obviously, he had corrected me. He had given me he had given an advice that I was going to leverage in other interviews. So I went ahead to, obviously, I went ahead to apply for more roles. And from the time he told me about this, from this recruiter, after having this conversation with this recruiter in Ireland, okay, within a month I was able to secure a role, okay, and the role was the business intelligence analyst role with one of the largest, I would say, logistics third-party supply chain company in the whole of Europe, okay. So it was big news. It was big for me. I was amazed that just a slight change in the interview process could actually lead me to getting a role. All right. So if you know Ireland, for tech professionals that are looking to transition or get into the tech space, okay, Ireland is a very good destination for you. All right. And they have a tech talent part called the um what do you call it again? Critical skills program. Critical skills program. Okay, so once you get a job in Ireland, you can get sponsored, and you can, a matter of 4 years, you can actually get permanent residence. Okay, so that's just the way it is. Very easy pathway for tech professionals. So when I got the job, it was good. All right, I knew my pathway to, permanent residence was, on track. All right. So business analyst with DPD, and I'll just be a bit faster. Okay, so while working at DPD, okay, I was still learning because I wanted to be the best. Okay, like I said from the start, the reason why those CEOs, the ones that leading different banks in Nigeria, reason why they were leading was because they were good at something. And that was the same mindset myself when Adesa always had to say that let's be good at one particular thing. If it's just one thing that we're very good at, let's be good at it. Like everybody should know that these guys, when it comes to these things, go and meet these people. All right. So we were ardent learners, kept learning. Okay. So, but while I was learning, I was also posting online. So you see all our participants always posting online. I am a very huge testament to public building in public. So if you build a dashboard, don't just keep it on your system, take a screenshot, post it online. So I was working on projects in computer, computer vision projects. I was working on projects in machine learning and so on. And I was posting them online. And I was able to land two exciting offers, okay? Two exciting opportunity, I would say. The opportunities were with Zadite and Vastmind. Okay. All right. So opportunities were with, and they were UK-based company, and I was in Ireland. So I've not been to the UK before, but I started working with these organizations. Okay. One Zadite was for 6 months. Also, Vastmind was also for 6 months, and I did that for 6 months. Okay. And that's how I transitioned. I kept working on different projects and all that. That was within a year or thereabouts. Okay. But while I was working at DPD, okay, also still applying for better roles, better job. Okay, I applied and I got offer. Okay, did the interview process, got an offer with Dell as a supply chain analyst. Okay, so I went ahead to tender my resignation to say that, oh guys, DPD, I'm not doing anymore. This is the end of the line for me. I've gotten a new offer from Dell. I would like to take the offer, and they came ahead to give me a better offer. Okay, they gave a better offer to say they were going to match the salary and they give additional benefits. Okay, so they matched the offer that I was going to and also gave me additional benefits. Okay, obviously it was good enough, and I was like, oh, no doubt about that. I was going to reject the offer, so that's how I rejected the offer from there. Okay, moving on to the next thing. Just 2 months down the line, obviously, when you're applying for jobs, you apply for 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 jobs at the same time. But not knowing that, even none to me also, I never knew was going to come through. Okay. So another organization within 2 months, another organization which is called Teleflex, the largest medical technology firms in the world. Okay, very large organization when it comes to medical technology. Okay. So they reached out for a global business systems analyst role, did the interview, got an offer, all right, way bigger than what I was offered, that my DBT was able to match. A better offer, okay, essentially better perks and all that. And obviously went to tender my resignation, and I had to leave the organization. I had to leave DVD to start with Teleflex as a global business systems analyst. Now, guess what? My role from DPD, which was a business systems analyst, to business intelligence analyst, to Teleflex. Okay, all this conversation was within 8 months. All right, all this conversation I'm talking about was within 8 months. Okay, so just a switch in the interview process, just a switch in the interview process, just something different. No certificate. I wasn't talking about I never talked about my master's. I never talked about any course that I had taken. All right. I talked majorly about my experience, how I was able to use certain tools to achieve certain results. Let me tell you the funny thing about Teleflex, the role at Teleflex. The reason why I got that role at Teleflex was to lead a particular project, which is, re-engineer. It was a re-engineering project. Okay. So they had worked on projects in Tableau, and they were looking for an experienced professional that had experience in Tableau and had experience in Power BI. So we were doing re-engineering of reports from Tableau to Power BI. So that was the first phase of the project. Okay. So they were just looking at somebody that has Tableau experience, that has Power BI experience, and was able to move reports from Tableau to Power BI. All right. And that's how I was able to get that job, because I had experience in Tableau and Power BI, not certification. Not I had a certificate in Tableau, so I had the certificate in Power BI. No, it's experience. Nobody cares about your whatever Udemy certificate or Udacity certificate you're going to get. All right. They care about the experience. Have you used it before? All right. Okay. So Next thing is, obviously from working on that role with Teleflex, I got, ideas. I got, obviously interacting with people, mentors within the industry. That's why mentorship is very important because you get exposed to different things within the industry. So I never knew about contract rules, to be honest with you. And that's how I got a win of, okay, you could actually do contracts. Even though you're working full time, you could actually get other contract rules, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, all right, and earn significantly more than a full-time employment. I never knew that. Okay. And that's how I got into contracts. Okay. To start working on different contracts. And, obviously, myself and my guy started working together on different contracts, earning, I would say that's where we started earning the big bucks. Okay. And when they say tech, money in tech, that's where we started earning the money that we're talking about. So from Ireland, even though I took benefit of that critical skills program for tech talent. So even tech talent in Ireland, you have what we call critical skills program. Okay, all right. Moved from Ireland to the UK. All right, got a job in the UK, full sponsorship. Okay, and we all know that if you get sponsored within the UK, you can work freely. You can work no limit to your hours and so on and so forth. I was able to do that. Okay, also did a bit of contract jobs within the UK. Also got jobs within the US and also did a couple of businesses in or worked with some businesses in Canada. All right. I'm currently from Canada, from UK. Currently, I'm now in Canada. Okay. All right. And that's what I want to do again. Okay. Rinse and repeat. Work for the work contract positions in Canada and earn more money. Do you understand? If you know what kind of contract rules are, even in Canada, it's categorically that you have more opportunity to earn more money without paying earn more money and pay less tax. And that's the whole idea of doing contracts in the first place. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. But you see the transitioning and how tech has been able to take me from Ireland to the UK and now Canada. All right. So, and I keep asking myself every day, okay, if I wasn't in tech, what would I be doing? What would I say I would be doing? What opportunity would I say I would have gotten? Would I be able to have, worked these contract jobs? Would I be able to have earned significantly higher than my peers at that point in time? Would I be able to have done, there are so many questions that that keeps popping up in my head. And I usually just thank God that first of all, myself and Adeza, we crossed our paths together. Our paths actually crossed. Okay. And we motivated ourselves, we get ourselves together to get to where we are at this point in time. And the key thing still goes back to the same thing that we usually say. All right. How do we get more Africans to see this opportunity, to gain this opportunity, to start? Okay. The key thing is just start, just try. All right. The worst case scenario, there's no even worst case scenario. You will achieve it. Okay. All right. So the key thing is just for you to start. Now, just to close on my own end, there are three things that helped me thus far. Okay, from the beginning of my career till now, and these are the things that I'm still, implementing till date. First thing is never stop learning. All right. Never stop learning. All right. Do it afraid. Do it afraid. Yes, you're not sure what the result will be like. That's what we call analysis paralysis. When you keep over analyzing situation, I'll do it next month. I'll do it three. Do it afraid. It's good for you. Don't worry. You will learn while you're doing it. All right. So you see all the opportunities, all the things I'm jumping into, trying to latch into, and a lot of people will see it as, oh, if a mena is ambitious, if a mena is this, if a mena is that, it's just the way it is. Okay, do it afraid. It's not like I'm not very confident. Okay, sometimes I'm not confident in whatever I want to do, but I do it regardless, and whatever comes out, fine and good. We move on to the next thing. So keep learning, do it afraid. And the last but not the least is rinse and repeat. If it works, and I will tell you categorically, it works. Okay, you learn a skill, you can get into the job, you can get a job outrightly. I can tell you that. And that's because we know it works. Rinse and repeat. If it works, continue to do it. Don't tweak anything, don't change anything, just like your programming language. If it works, don't change it. Continue, use it just the way it is. And that's exactly what we've done. From Ireland, got the job, got contract position. I said, okay, do you know what? Let me check out the UK. Move to the UK, rinse, repeat, got the same job, got different contract jobs. All right. And now what am I doing now? Move to Canada, rinse and repeat. Okay, it's the same system, it's the same tech environment. So if you want to get this kind of opportunities and you want to transition, you want to travel, you want to explore, you want to earn significantly more than other people within your within your career path or within your peers, I will tell you tech is what you should do. All right. So if you're looking to get started, this is the best platform for you to get started, and I'll be looking forward to working with you. All right. So if Adeza, I'm going to add over back to Adeza for him to take us through the tech career parts. Okay.
All right, thanks for that, Ife. If you are learning something in this session and you've gotten some amazing insights, just type in a 1 into the chat so I know that we are still on the same page. Just type in a 1. You've learned something from Ifemena. You've had amazing insights on how you can also get your journey started. Absolutely. Fantastic, Ezekiel, Kingsley, Jeffrey, brilliant. So what can we learn from our journey, myself and Ifemena? What are the key points we can take? And I just want to highlight a couple of things for you. And the very first thing I would like to highlight is, number one, we never ever focused on certificates. And a whole lot of Africans are bogged on certificates and chasing the paper. Okay, you think there is a paper ceiling that you need to break out of. No recruiter cares about your certificates. All they want from you is, do you have the skills to get the job done? So we chased the skills and we kept getting better with our skills. We worked on personal projects. We kept on improving. We created a portfolio to showcase the type of projects that we had worked on, and also learning in public, documenting everything we were doing on LinkedIn to showcase that we actually have experience and expertise in this particular area. All right. So that's the very first key lesson. Secondly, we also did not wait for opportunities to fall on our laps. We got started. We started and said, okay, this is the way to go. Let's try it. Let's do it afraid. It doesn't matter if we don't know what the outcome will be, but let's give it a go. All right. So we jumped all in and here we are today. All right. And that's something that a lot of people always analyze and overanalyze. Analysis paralysis. You always want to rationalize every single thing. All right. So rather than procrastinating, delaying it, kicking the ball forward every single time, jump in and get your journey started. That's another learning point from myself and Ifemena's journey. Again, we never waited until we met all the requirements. For me personally, the job I applied to, I got a lot of rejections, but I didn't have all the skills that they wanted. I didn't meet the requirements. And this goes to the ladies specifically, because the ladies would typically want to have 100% of the job requirements before they put in an application. If you meet 60 to 70%, please go ahead and apply to that job. Very important. So the skills that you have, ensure that you are confident in the use of those skills. And the ones you don't have, you don't have. Go ahead and apply. So we did that, myself and Ifemena, and that got me a job. That got me the job I really needed to get my journey started in the tech ecosystem. Okay, and that's something else I want you to take out of the learning today. And lastly, was learning was never a destination. We never got to a point and said, this is where learning stops. Okay, we never also saw the fact that we had to learn everything in order to get started. Okay, so we learned, and learning is still continuous. Even till today, we still learn every single time. And just to also look at my own specific journey, I had used Excel, Power BI, SQL to do all the things I needed to do in so many of the organizations I worked for. The only time I decided to pick up Python as a data analyst was over 5 years working as a data analyst. I decided to pick up Python, all right? And so many people get so bogged down in the thoughts of wanting to learn every single thing all at the same time, and forgetting that that other person who knows how to use 3 tools and very good with those tools will get the job before you. All right. So it was always a case of learning, continuous learning, and knowing that learning was a journey. And we keep on getting, keep on improving as the day goes by to improve ourselves and get better opportunities across the globe. So these are 4 key learning points that you need to take out. First of all, don't chase the certificates, chase the skills, work on projects to build your experience. That's number 1. Number 2, don't wait for opportunities. Don't wait for somebody to say, hey, this is what you need to do. Get into it, get all in and get started and get your journey into tech started. Number 3, don't feel like an imposter, the imposter syndrome, thinking you're not good enough. Don't feel that you need to have every single requirement to get that job. Go ahead and apply, even if you meet just 60% to 70%. We did it and it worked. And we've helped so many other people do the same thing. And it worked for them as well. Again, learning is always continuous. You start with a particular area, you can always evolve and move into other areas eventually, but you can only do that after you have gotten started. All right. So I'm going to introduce you to a couple of, pathways that you can leverage. And myself and Efemena have leveraged a couple of them, okay, in different regions and different locations. Now, organizations are looking for talents like you across different regions. Organizations are looking for tech talent, and it has even gone beyond organizations looking for talent. Countries and different regions are also looking for people that have specific talents in key areas. And you have a report by Gartner that says 64% of IT executives have indicated that the reason why they haven't adopted emerging technologies is because they don't have the tech talents to get into those roles. So this is not a case of just organizations wanting to hire tech talents, but countries are implementing different programs to get people to come into the country and apply to get some of the best jobs within those regions. All right, and I'll talk about a couple of them. I will start with Canada. Okay, a lot of you are in Canada, and you have something we call the Global Talent Stream. And this is a pathway for people in the tech ecosystem. So it's a skilled worker pathway whereby you need to have skills in a specific area. So you have skills in the tech ecosystem, in IT and so on. You can apply to jobs in this area. Okay, and how does a Global Talent Stream works? You're a tech talent, you're a data analyst, you're a data scientist, you're a data engineer. You put in an application, apply to jobs, get a job offer. The employer would also file an LMIA, something called the Labor Market Impact Assessment, that the employer would also have to carry out for you. And once the LMIA goes through, you use that to apply for your work permit, and that gets you into Canada as a global talent. And why is Canada implementing this? They want tech talent across the globe to see Canada as a destination, not just because Canada wants to develop, but because of the skill shortage across Canada. And something that happened last year, 32,000 jobs were gotten by immigrants in Canada in the tech ecosystem. And out of the 32,000 jobs, the Indians went away with 15,000, almost half of the jobs. And Nigeria could only get 1,808 out of the 32,000 jobs. All right. And this is an appalling number, looking at the fact that, and Nigeria was the only African country on the list of countries that took advantage of the 32,000 roles in the tech ecosystem. Nigeria just took 1,808, while the Indians took 15,000 jobs. All right. So the Africans, the Nigerians were focused a little bit more on the menial jobs. So there are opportunities in Canada, and there is a pathway called the Global Talent Stream for people who want to also transition into the tech ecosystem and move into Canada with a work permit and get to work for organizations in Canada. And of course, the digital nomad visa is another pathway available. And this was launched in June last year, 2023, June 2023. And this is where anybody, as long as you work in the tech ecosystem as a data analyst, a business analyst, a data engineer, and you can show that you work for an organization, you don't need a work permit. All you need to show is your proof of funds that you can take care of yourself while you're in Canada. And you can apply for the digital nomad visa, and you get a visa to move into Canada and live and work in Canada. So this is Canada implementing programs to attract the best talent from across the globe. And from the digital nomad visa, if you are able to get a job while living in Canada and working in Canada, you can transition from this particular visa into a work permit. So you have a work permit that allows you to work for any other organization in Canada while you live in Canada. And of course, you also have the express entry. And most of you are familiar with the express entry, especially with the skilled worker pathway. And this is a point-based system whereby you apply to the express entry program under the skilled worker, federal executive class skilled worker path. And then having the skills as a data engineer or data analyst or business analyst or HR analyst or financial analyst, it gives you more opportunities to get more points because that's a skilled area. It's a skilled pathway because it's in the tech ecosystem. So you get the opportunity to also get a PR if you have an offer from any organization. Eventually, that also adds to the points that you get. So this is Canada attracting some of the best and the brightest talent from across the globe to saying that come into our country and we're going to work with you and ensure that we keep you back in the country, and you get to experience the amazing benefits of working in regions like this. Like Efemena mentioned, Efemena recently moved from the UK to Canada, all right, and also trying to implement some fantastic initiatives in that region. And going to the US, you have opportunities within the H-1B visa. And the H-1B visa usually is categorized into two because it is employment-based, because you can transition from this visa, which is a temporary visa, into a green card, where you have a permanent residence in the US. And this is where specialized occupations, especially within the tech ecosystem. So as long as you have experience, 2 years experience or 2 years education, and you can show that you have skills in a particular area as a data analyst, as a data scientist, and so on and so forth, you can apply for the H-1B visa. And of course, it also has a requirement for the bachelor's degree, right? So how do you get this visa? You apply, you get a job offer, and the employer must also meet this condition, all right? Puts in a labor condition application. And this simply means that the employer is saying that they are bringing you into the country and it fulfills all the right labor conditions that they should fulfill in terms of the pay, the perks, and every other thing. And to also show that this particular role that they are hiring you for would have no negative impact on the wages of Americans or other permanent residents already living in America. Okay, so this is a pathway that tech talent can also take advantage of. And it's also easy for you to transition from the H-1B to the EB3 visa, all right, which is also the green card. You have the opportunity to move from the H-1B after 3 years and get the green card while in the US. Okay, and a lot of people have taken advantage of this opportunity as well. And of course, I just talked about the EB3, which is also a way for you to get the green card through employment. It is employment-based. The EB simply means employment-based. And there are 2 types, the EB3 and the EB2. The EB3 is a little bit easier to get because the EB2 requires just 2 years experience in a particular area. And once you have the 2 years experience, you have an offer, your organization can then file a petition for you to get the green card. Okay, and the company that's also giving you the offer would also have to do something we call a labor certification application. And the labor certification is simply showing that there are no permanent residents or there are no Americans that are willing to apply to that job. Okay, so for example, how you can easily take advantage of this is where you have jobs that have been out there for the past 2 weeks and people are not applying to the job, or they haven't found somebody with the right skill set to get that job, and you have the skills. Right? So it's easy for the company to show that they put out this job application for over 2 weeks. Nobody has applied that has the skills to get the job, and you have the skill. So they petition to get you a green card because you fulfill their requirements and so on and so forth. All right. And I'll move to the UK, which is also a very interesting country for people who want to transition into the tech ecosystem. And you have the Global Talent Visa. And the Global Talent Visa is simply the pathway for anybody in tech to get into the UK, either as a global talent or as a global promise. Okay, so with the global talent, this is you showcasing that you are either an expert in that area or you are a promise, an emerging promise. Okay, so it's either you're an expert, meaning that you have implemented so many initiatives within the tech ecosystem for the last 3 years. All right, and also a promise, showing that you are a promise by the type of work you have done within the company that you work for. So you'll be showing things like the impact. When you worked for this particular organization, what impact did you have? What innovation? So it's you submitting documents and submitting evidence that on this particular role, you have been able to deliver exceptional talent in that area. And for the exceptional talent, if you get the exceptional talent in the UK with the Global Talent Visa, you have 3 years. You have 3 years to leave, work in the UK, and after 3 years, you can apply to get your ILR, which is indefinite leave to remain. And once you have the ILR, 1 year after, you can apply for the UK citizenship. All right. And for the exceptional promise, if you get approved for this, so this is more for people who are not yet experts in the tech ecosystem. So an exceptional promise, you get 5 years to live and work in the UK for any organization. And after 5 years, you can apply to get your ILR, which is indefinite leave to remain. After 1 year on ILR, you can then apply for citizenship. Okay, so this is a pathway that so many people take advantage of, even students, because as a student, you can apply, you can showcase your publications. All right, so you write a lot of publications, you publish articles and publish, different reports on major publications, and you can use that to showcase leadership and also impact, and you can get the Global Promise endorsement. So what you require before you apply to this visa is you first of all get an endorsement. So you apply to the Tech Nation to endorse you and say that your track record showcases that you're a promise. And with that, you can move. If you get that endorsement from the Tech Nation, you then go ahead to apply to the Home Office for a Global Talent Visa. And another pathway available, especially for people who are currently doing their masters, you are a student also in the UK on a Tier 4 visa, you can transition into a Tier 2 visa called the Skilled Worker Visa. And how do you transition to the Skilled Worker Visa? It's also a point-based system whereby all you need is a job offer. So you are currently in the country. All you need is just to apply to jobs and get an offer from that organization. And once you have the offer, what happens? The company will give you a certificate of sponsorship. So again, a lot of people really don't know what to do, how to get the companies that can sponsor them, because not every organization has the license to sponsor. So you need to know that this organization I'm applying to has the license to sponsor me. And once you know that, you also need to know how many sponsorships have they given? How many certificates of sponsorship, COS, have they given in the last 1 or 2 years? And with that, you can tell if you are likely going to get sponsorship from them. And these are the things we do at Tenalytics to bring this knowledge to you and also show you how you can navigate the space to take advantage of these opportunities. So for the skilled worker visa, a tier 2 visa, you are currently a student or you are a dependent. All you have to do, apply to a job, learn the skill. First of all, I'm a data analyst. I have the skills to do this. I'm a data scientist. I'm a business analyst. Once you've learned the skill, you start to apply to jobs. All right? Get a job offer. Once you get the job offer, you get a certificate of sponsorship. And this is what you use to apply for the skilled worker visa. And I'll showcase and show you a lot of our participants that have been able to do this in Canada, in the US, and also in the UK. All right. And how we have also been able to help them to navigate the space and take advantage of all these opportunities available across multiple locations. All right. Before I leave this slide, it's also important that when you are transitioning, you put something at the back of your mind, which is, which career path should I move into in the tech ecosystem? Because tech is very broad. So how do I move? How do I know what to do? Which career path should I move into? I want you to put that question at the back of your mind. All right. Ifemena also talked about different other skills pathways available for those in different other countries. For example, in Ireland, you have the critical skills employment permit program, and that was what Ifemena took advantage of while in Canada. In Germany, you have the Blue Card scheme for tech talent. Singapore, you have the Tech Pass program. Australia has a global talent visa, just like the UK. And France also has the French tech visa program. And these are all to attract tech talents into the country. Okay, so now that you know that I can get these opportunities, I need to also know where to focus on. If I'm going to apply to jobs, I need to know exactly where to focus on because tech is very broad. So how do I narrow my focus on specific areas? And I'm going to be showing you how to do that shortly. Okay? And how do you do this? Please give me 1 second, please, guys. How do you know exactly where to focus on, right? Because tech is very broad. And this is where we at Tenalytics have done our analysis to look at data over the last 5 years to see where employers and potential recruiters have listed the demand for so many jobs. They have posted adverts, job adverts for those jobs, and we've used that to project into the future to see where the demand for tech career paths is really. And we also validated that using a particular report that we always leverage called the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs Report. So if I'm going to transition, I need to know where the demand would be. Would my job be relevant in the next 5 to 10 years or not? And looking at the World Economic Forum reports, at the left-hand side, you have the growing jobs. And at the right-hand side, you have the declining jobs. Jobs that will grow in demand and jobs that will decline in demand. Now, if I'm going to move into a career path, I can't possibly be looking at jobs that will decline because it means in the next few years, my job will become irrelevant. And there are so many jobs that I saw in the declining area that shocked me, when I looked at it. One of them is the product manager role. Product management is a fantastic career path. However, it's a job that has been identified that will decline in demand. So if I'm transitioning into tech, I can't possibly be looking at the product management role or being a product manager. And we have advised so many people across different other career paths to take note of the jobs that will grow rather than those that will decline. And this is how Tenalytics also came up with the programs that we offer in-house. from the analysis that we have done and also leveraging reports like this to validate our findings. And you have AI and machine learning. You have business intelligence and analysts, and these are roles that will be growing. The top roles that will grow in the next few years. There will be demand for these jobs. There are demands today, but the demand will grow. So how do you take advantage of the increase in demand based on your region? You have information security, which also includes cyber security. All right. You have data analysts and data scientists. I worked as a data analyst for so many years. FMNA also worked as a data analyst, data scientist for so many years. And these roles would still grow in demand simply because of the amount of data, the volume of data generated, and the veracity, the speed at which the data has been generated over the last few years. 90% of the data we have today was generated in the last 5 years. So organizations are looking for analysts, data scientists, data engineers that can help them make sense of the data, handle the data, manage the data, and so on and so forth. You have roles like the project manager role, which of course, if you distill this down a little bit further, you would see that the project manager that focuses within the tech ecosystem are the Scrum Masters. And we're going to talk a little bit about this role. So the Scrum Masters are simply project managers with expertise in the Agile methodology. All right. And of course, you have the financial analyst as well. And these are the roles that will be growing. One of the roles that would also decline that shocked me was accountants and the auditors. It's a role that will decline in the next few years. So you want to become an accountant today or an auditor, you want to add a little bit of something to your skills. So you're not just a conventional accountant, you're an accountant that has the ability to leverage technology to do your job. So you know how to use Excel, Power BI, SQL as a financial analyst, but you have accounting skills. And these are the things you want to do to get you from the jobs that are declining into the jobs where there are demand. Okay. And this was how we came up with 8 different programs that we offer at Tenalytics, from business analysis to data analytics, financial analytics, HR analytics, full stack data science, Scrum Master, data engineering, and cyber security. And these are the roles that would give you the job, help you land your very first job in tech, because of the demand for these roles across the major economies in the UK, in Canada, in the US, across Africa, and so on and so forth. All right. And the salaries are also fantastic. Ifemena talked about the fact that there are different strategies to, tapping the opportunities within the space. You have the full-time employment, you have the contract jobs as well. Contracts will give you the highest pay, but as a contractor, there's also some level of expectation from you. They expect that you have some level of expertise. All right. So for somebody who is getting started, you want to focus on getting a full-time job. And once you do that for a year, for 2 years, you start to look for the contract jobs, because these contract jobs will pay you a lot higher and a lot better than the full-time roles. We have done it before, and we've seen the amazing opportunities in that area. So for the business analysis in the UK, on the average, how much are you likely going to earn? £52,500 per annum. In Canada, over 74,000 Canadian dollars, and in the US, over 85,000 US dollars. And as a financial analyst in the UK, you're earning over 51,000 pounds per annum. In Canada, 69,000 Canadian dollars, and in the US, over 74,000 US dollars. And as a data analyst in the UK, you are earning over 40,000 pounds. In Canada, over 64,000 Canadian dollars, and in the US, over 72,000 US dollars. And as a HR analyst in the UK, you are earning over 32,000 pounds per annum. In Canada, over 71,000 Canadian dollars, and in the US, 62,000 US dollars. And for the full stack data scientist, you are earning £55,000 per annum. In Canada, 94,000 Canadian dollars, almost six figures. And in the US, six figures, 121,000 US dollars. And as a data engineer, you hit the six figures across multiple regions. In the UK, 65,000 pounds per annum. In Canada, six figures, 102,000 Canadian dollars. And in the US, $134,000. As a Scrum Master, which is one of the best entries into the tech ecosystem, you earn 52,500 per annum in Canada, in the UK. In Canada, 74,000 Canadian dollars. In the US, 85,000 US dollars. And as a cybersecurity analyst, 57,000 pounds per annum, six figures, 140,000 Canadian dollars. And in the US, 105,000 US dollars. Amazing, fantastic salaries across multiple regions. But again, looking at the opportunities available and the skills you need to learn to get into these areas, you start to ask the question, are there people that have done this before? Do you have people that have learned this skill, completed it? Adeza has said his story, Efemena has said his story. Do you have people that have also done this? And most of the time, it always seems impossible until you see other people that have done the same thing you are trying to do. And there are so many success stories across multiple regions of people that have done this. They've joined Analytics, they've learned the skill, completed their program, and they're currently working in different areas in the UK, in Canada, in the US, and doing amazing stuff. Toyin, for example, joined us last year, August. She didn't complete her program. 1 month into the program, we worked with Toyin. She was able to land a job as a benefits analyst with the NHS in the UK. It came with full visa sponsorship. So when I talked about the fact that you can move from a tier 4 to a tier 2 visa, which is simply a skilled worker visa, one of the examples I gave, Toyin was able to do this by joining the program to learn data analytics. She learned all the skills, applied, and got an offer from a company that gave her a certificate of sponsorship. And she used that to apply for a tier 2 skilled worker visa. And she got the COS from the NHS. And the NHS would give you that sponsorship. The NHS is that organization that always gives you the certificate of sponsorship. And we have so many of our participants working with the NHS, all right? And we know what to do, what you need to do, how to tailor your CV, how to ensure that you get these opportunities within the space. And I'll play Toyin's video for you so you get to hear what she has to say, because you have links listening to all these professionals in these areas, all right? So you listen to Toyin yourself and you get to hear how she was able to do this amazing stuff and the role Analytics played, all right? Oluwatosin also works as a fraud analyst in the UK, completing his program with us and getting a job. You have Olubemi, who is in Edmonton, Canada, getting a job as a business data analyst after completing our program. You have Benga, who currently works as a business data analyst in Poland after completing our program. You have Abigail, who was working as a care worker. She was a carer in Canada, joined our business analysis program, and today she got a job with the government of Alberta, all right? She got a job as a business analyst, moved from Saskatchewan to Edmonton, Canada, where she's currently working as a business analyst. And so many other professionals. You have Biola, you have Maureen, who joined our HR analytics program, and Maureen currently works with TELUS, and TELUS is one of the largest telecommunications company in Canada. For those of you in Canada, you would know TELUS, and she works with TELUS as a HR data analyst after completing our training program, and so many other people. Bernard, also in Canada, was able to secure a scholarship that we provided recommendation letters for him and a reference. And Bernard was able to use that to apply for a scholarship and got the scholarship in a university in Canada. And while in that university, studying in the university, he applied to a data analyst role, working with his professor in that same university, and he was able to get this. after completing our data analytics program. And you have so many other fantastic professionals. ICMAT also getting a job with a full visa sponsorship, transitioning from a tier 4 to a tier 2 visa as well. So taking advantage of the opportunities and the pathways available in these different regions. You have Nathaniel working as a data scientist in Spain. You have Patience, who got a job as a data analyst as well. You have Chika, who works as a financial analyst in the UK after joining our program, and so many other professionals. So I'm just going to play one or two videos. Let's first of all listen to Grace. Okay, Grace is in Canada, joined our financial analytics program, and I'm sure you'd love to hear what Grace has to say. And then we'll also listen to Tony, who was able to transition into a tier 2 visa eventually. So let's listen to Grace, and then we'll move on to Tony. All right, so I'm going to click on this link very quickly, and we get to hear what Grace has to say. Okay, sorry about that. I think I'll just play Tony, and then I'll come back to Grace. Let's listen to Tony very quickly. I'm going to play Tony's video. I just want you to sit back, relax, listen to what Tony has to say, and enjoy Tony's story. All right, so I'm just going to share my audio so that you can hear what Tony has to say. All right, so Tony was somebody who joined our program, got a job, transitioned into a skilled worker visa, full sponsorship, currently works with the NHS in the UK. So let's listen to Tony and hear what she has to say.
Hello everyone, my name is Toyin, and I recently got a job as a benefits analyst in the UK. I've come from a medical background as a pharmacist who is interested in, breaking into tech. My first encounter with analytics was on LinkedIn. I joined one of their masterclass, just one masterclass where Efemina spoke, and it just took that masterclass to convince me. I joined in August, and a month after, I got a job. To be honest with you, every information skill that I was able to apply to get that job, I owe it to Tenalytics. Tenalytics did a great job and is still doing a great job. They groom you and nurture you from the cradle till you become confident. So my advice for you, most importantly, is join. Be integrated into a platform that empowers you and allows you to easily get that first job.
All right, so that's Tony, and Tony, getting a job, doing amazingly well. I'm sure for those that joined early, you would have listened to Olubemi, who got a job in Canada, and how he was able to do that, how I worked with him during his interview, and how other professionals also supported him. We wrote a reference for him to provide him that opportunity. Olubemi's first job was as a business data analyst, and last year he transitioned into a new role called solutions analyst with one of the largest insurance companies in Canada. And he literally moved from where he was to a 6-figure job in Canada. An amazing feat. And we're very proud of what Olubemi has been able to achieve. All right. So you have all the links to sorry about that. Okay, so you have all the links to every single person that have been a part of our program. And we're going to leave the links in the slide. Once you receive the slide, take out time and listen to these amazing professionals' stories. Okay, how they were able to transition. Victor transitioned into a financial analyst role. You have Bumi, who got a job as a market data analyst while she was still undergoing our financial analytics program. You have Mojisola, who transitioned, got a job as a business analyst in the UK. And this was Mojisola sending me a message. Hello, Adaiza. Good evening. I finally got an offer from the job, and I want to say a big thank you for everything. I sincerely appreciate your help. And of course, you also have Olamide. Olamide's story is also something that is very interesting. And maybe sometime some other time I'll talk about Olamide's story a little bit more. And this is Olamide sending me a message when he got the job in November last year, 2023, 2 months ago. Hi, Adeza, how are you doing? I got a job as a business data analyst on Friday. Thanks for your support this past month, and I really appreciate it. Olamide was out of work since February 2023. He came to us in July 2023. So he was out of work since February, trying to applying to so many roles. And he came to us in July that he needed to get a job. We looked at his CV, we saw where there were errors, where there were mistakes, and where he needed to, complement some certain skills. He joined our business analysis program, completed the program in October, and by November, he got this particular role as a business data analyst working in the UK in the energy sector, and so many other professionals that you would get to also listen to eventually. So before I move on to the next slide, I want to find out from you, what is your preferred career path? Just type that into the chat. What is your preferred career path? Okay, do you want to become a business analyst, a HR analyst? Just type that into the chat. Okay, what is your preferred career path? Just type that into the chat for those of you who are looking to transition. Are you looking to transition to become a financial analyst? Okay, Edna says data analytics. Mofe says data engineer, data scientist, data analytics, data engineer, Kingsley. Absolutely phenomenal. All right. So what I'll do very quickly before Ifemena comes back is to walk you through the different career paths and focusing on the skills that you need to learn. Okay. The focus would be on the skills. So as a business analyst, what skills do you need to learn to transition into business analysis and get a job? So when you see somebody like Abigail, who was a carer, who worked in the care as a care worker, but joined our business analysis program and got a job, and today she works as a business analyst and also leading 2 people. She has 2 direct reports reporting to her. For somebody who has never done business analysis before, the very first thing you are going to learn is Excel, Power BI, and SQL. So as a business analyst, you must have data analytics skills. It is very important. So you see the gentleman I showed you, Olamide, that was out of work since February before he came to us in July. This was the game changer for him. The moment he listed this on his CV after completing our program, all right, he got that job as a business data analyst. Because as a modern business analyst, you must have a flair for data analytics. So that's where you start from. And then you learn process mapping using tools like Lucidchart and also Draw.io to map out processes from end to end, the beginning of the process, every single activity within that process, and how the process ends. You have to understand process mapping as a business analyst, and then project initiation planning. So as a business analyst, you're also going to manage projects. So you need to know the rudiments, the rudimentary aspects, the foundational aspects of project management. How do you initiate a project? So you learn that as a business analyst. You learn Agile and Scrum for projects, leveraging the Agile methodology for delivering projects, especially within the tech ecosystem. Software development lifecycle, which is one of the frameworks you need to understand when working on projects that would require applications to be developed or software to be built. Okay, so how is this software planned? How is it designed? How is it built? How is it implemented or deployed? How do you maintain? How do you test? And so on and so forth. You go through the entire software development lifecycle. And of course, you need to understand requirements fundamentals, which is where you understand the specific requirements that you need to solve a particular problem for that organization. So if you're going to build a software for the company to make the company more efficient, what specific requirements would be needed to build that software? And some of the ways you gather requirements is through elicitation, all right? Asking the right type of questions, documenting those questions, writing your business case, and so on and so forth. But you need to come up with those questions that will get you the right type of requirements eventually, and how to manage your stakeholders, both internal and external stakeholders. So you need to know how to analyze the stakeholders. What's the best way to communicate with them? How do you engage your stakeholders? What's the best channel for engaging the stakeholders? So you understand all of this as a business analyst. And of course, you move into ChatGPT for business analysis. And this is a tool that nobody today who is getting into tech can shy away from, all right? And this is the power of leveraging AI to making your work a whole lot more efficient and making you a whole lot better as a business analyst. And how long does it take for you to learn to become a business analyst? For those people that have transitioned and they have gotten jobs, how long did it take them? 4 months. 2 months learning in class in a project-based environment where you're working on projects. And then you have another 2 months where you are managing a web application project. So you're going to work on a project that requires a web app to be built. You'd work with Scrum Masters, you'd work with a software developer, and you as the business analyst would manage the project. So that when you eventually get a job, this is a real life case, a real life scenario. You know exactly what to say. When you're asked a question like, tell me how you have deployed or used the software development lifecycle, you would talk about the project you have implemented when building the web application, okay? And this is how you learn with us at Tenalytics. It's a project-based way of learning. You have a portfolio where you would warehouse all the dashboards, all the analysis you are going to do with Excel, Power BI, and SQL. You have a portfolio and you put all those projects in the portfolio. And after that, for 2 months, you are working on managing a web application project. And these are the skills you need to become a business analyst. And I'm going to move to data analytics. As a data analyst, it all starts from problem solving, because that is your fundamental objective as an analyst, solving problems for that company. Okay, so how do you know the right problems to solve? How do you get to the root cause of the problem using techniques like the 5 whys, asking why 5 times to get to the root cause, using tools like the McKinsey-Mason model to break problems into multiple parts, solve those multiple parts, and invariably you are solving the entire problem. It all comes with problem solving, the different techniques that you need to learn to solve problems, knowing if you have the right data to answer those specific questions and solve those specific problems. And if you don't have the data, how do you generate or how do you get the data to help you solve the problem? Once you understand problem solving, you then move into Excel. When I talked about my journey, I explained how Excel was very important in me transitioning. Same with Efemena. Excel gives you that foundation. It gives you that background into the tech ecosystem as a data analyst. All right, you learn how to use Excel to do amazing stuff, create dashboards, analyze different data using your pivot table to summarize your data, using pivot charts to visualize the data, and doing amazing stuff. And you also learn SQL, structured query language, which is a language for databases. Organizations would store their data in a database. So how do you interact with that database? How do you extract data? How do you analyze the data in the database? You do that using structured query language. So for anybody who works with data, you can't run away from SQL. You must understand SQL. You then learn Power BI. Efemena talked about a project when he was working with Teleflex in Ireland, where he had to do what? Convert all the Tableau projects into Power BI. All right. So you'd see organizations that have a preference for Power BI because Power BI is a fantastic tool, can do amazing stuff, and it's very flexible and easily and easy to integrate with so many other tools. So you'd see organizations moving from Tableau to Power BI and vice versa, all right? But having the two skills, the reason why Femena was able to do that was because he knew how to use Power BI. He also knew Tableau. So as a data analyst, you must know how to use these two, tools to help you build amazing visualizations. And when you find a company that has a preference for Tableau, you have Tableau. If the company has a preference for Power BI, you have Power BI. If they want to migrate from Power BI to Tableau, you know the two skills, so it's easy for you to, get jobs in that area. So you have to learn Power BI, you have to learn Tableau, and then you move into data storytelling. And this is where you tell stories from the analysis that you have done to help the company take the right decisions. Okay, so you've done the analysis, the whole technical stuff, but the company now needs to take the decision. So you have to tell the story in a way that is compelling enough so they understand exactly what you've done to aid them to take that decision. And of course, you learn ChatGPT for analytics and Microsoft Fabric, which is a platform recently launched by Microsoft that contains different elements of the analytics value chain. In Microsoft Fabric, I can create Power BI visuals in the cloud. Okay, and somebody in a different country, in Peru, can work with that same data and run some SQL queries on the data. So it gives you the opportunity to collaborate. And why is it important for you as an analyst? Organizations are migrating to Microsoft Fabric. So having the skills gives you an advantage over your contemporaries, all right? And how long does it take for you to transition into data analytics? 4 months. 3 months project-based classes. So the projects I have worked on, the project Femena has worked on, and other industry experts, we have curated this project, all right, into case studies, and we provide them to you. Of course, changing the name of the company, codifying the data so that you don't, tie any aspect of that data to any company. But you work on those projects, and it gives you the same experience that we had already passed through. And you learn from that experience, and you're also able to work on similar projects. And this is what gives you the experience that you get to showcase in front of a recruiter. And you do this for 3 months working on projects, and then 1 month internship, free virtual internship. And this is where you work with other team members in a cross-functional team, helping to solve a common problem. So you work with a data scientist, you work with a data engineer, and you are the data analyst on that team, and you are helping to solve problems that are real-world based and would help you add to your portfolio of projects that showcases the depth of the skills you've been able to get over the last 4 months, all right? And I'm going to move to the HR analyst. And the HR analyst is simply that professional who is a data analyst, but also analyzes people data. So you're a data analyst with a focus on analyzing people data. Okay, that's the difference between the HR analyst and the conventional data analyst. So you are more focused on a specific area, and you would learn all the data analytics skills. You're going to learn problem solving, you're going to learn Excel, Power BI, and SQL. So you learn these skills, which are also part of the data analytics skills. And once you have learned this, you then learn the specific areas in relation to HR and the people within the organization. So you learn HR analytics and performance evaluation, analyzing the performance of the company vis-a-vis the performance of the employees, all right? You understand the HR metrics and life cycle, the different metrics to look at when analyzing the people records or the people data. Looking at metrics like absenteeism, attrition, turnover, what's the difference between the two? Looking at talent sourcing analysis, and so on and so forth. You learn how to create dashboards and do analysis that are HR related, and automating that dashboard, automating your reports leveraging different tools like Power BI and SQL, and of course, building your case and creating action. And lastly, ChatGPT for analytics. And this is a career path where you don't need any prior experience in HR, because every single analysis that you do, you'd learn them in class. You're going to work on projects, absenteeism projects, talent sourcing projects, talent management projects, and so on and so forth. All right. And when you are done after 4 months, you would have worked on a minimum of 25 projects to add to your portfolio and showcase that you have the skills to get a job as a HR analyst. And you learn for 3 months in a project-based environment. And you join the 1 month free virtual internship where you get to collaborate with other team members and solve a problem that is HR related. And moving to the financial analyst, this is the data analyst who has investment banking skills, investment banking, and also the data analyst that has corporate finance skills. So the financial analytics program is a combination of data analytics, investment banking, and corporate finance. Okay, so you're a data analyst that has amazing skills. You have your data skills because you're going to learn problem solving. You're going to learn Excel, Power BI, and SQL, just like the data analyst. And then you start to learn accounting fundamentals, all right, which is the language of business accounting. You don't need to have any experience. You're going to learn all the rudiments. You learn all the different areas to get you to become a financial analyst. You saw the World Economic Forum that said the accountants, the auditors, the auditor role would go down in demand. It's going to decline. So how do you ensure you're in a career path that would get you into the jobs that would grow in demand, which is financial analytics? So you are getting your skills, adding data analytics to it, and that gives you opportunity in a new realm within the tech ecosystem. So you're learning accounting fundamentals, financial analysis using different ratios, financial ratios to analyze the business, creating financial models, building models from scratch for companies that exist and for companies that are startup, you are building from scratch. So you have your best case, your worst case, your base case scenarios based on the financial model that you'll be building. You'll learn valuation and also sensitivity and scenario building and analysis. And of course, you'd also add ChatGPT for analytics to your skills. Like I said, this is an amazing skill that every professional today needs to have. ChatGPT, prompt engineering, okay? Prompt engineering skills, okay? And this is you knowing the right type of prompts to enter into ChatGPT to give you the right outcome, the right results that you want to get out of ChatGPT. As a financial analytics professional, these are the set of skills you're going to learn. You'd learn for 4 months, 3 months project-based classes, and 1 month internship, right? And then we move into the data science role. As a data scientist, your very first foundation, what drives your role as a data scientist is statistics. It all starts from here. Because as a data scientist, you are predicting to tell what will happen in the future based on what has happened in the past. And that is all hinged around statistics. So you start by learning statistics, the foundation of data science. A lot of people make the mistake of going into data science and starting with Python, and then Python bites them and they get frustrated and they crash out of that particular program. You don't learn data science by starting with Python. That's one of the very last things you do. You learn data science by learning the fundamentals, the foundation, which is statistics. Then you move into forecasting and predictive analytics with Excel. So you're going to build forecast models. You're going to predict using different forecasting techniques, the exponential smoothing technique, the moving average, the linear regression, the naive approach to forecasting. You'd use all these different techniques to predict what will happen in the future using Excel as a tool. You'd also learn Tableau for data analytics, and then SQL, structured query language, which is a fundamental, skill that anybody in data would need to have. So as a data scientist, you learn this before you move into Python programming. All right. So you'd learn Python, you'd learn how to use Python to do amazing stuff like your exploratory data analysis, build machine learning models, computer vision projects. You'd learn GitHub for version control. You'd learn ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot, and also Microsoft Fabric for data science. How long does it take you to become a data scientist? 4 months, 3 months project-based classes, and 1 month internship. And you're going to work on some amazing projects. And if we have time at the end, I'll show you the computer vision project you're going to work on LinkedIn. You're going to see it on LinkedIn. People that have built similar projects, you'd see what they've been able to do. All right. So this is what you need to learn to become a data scientist and apply to jobs to get the best jobs available across the US, 6 figures as a data scientist, in Canada, close to 6 figures, and how our participants have been doing amazing stuff, getting jobs and transitioning as data scientists. And I'll move to the data engineer role. As a data engineer, your role is to ensure that the data that everybody in the company would use is available for them to use. So you get data from different locations, wherever they exist in different systems, and you get that data into a central location called the data warehouse. So you create the pipelines that will move the data from those different systems into the data warehouse. And that's your role as a data engineer. You are making the data available. Without you, the data scientist cannot do his or her job. Without you, the data analyst cannot do their job, because you make the data available. So you need to understand what data engineering is all about. That's the very first thing you start with, introduction to data engineering. Then you move to SQL, which is the language of every data engineer. All right. If you used to speak English, once you become a data engineer, you start to speak structured query language. You stop speaking English and you only speak SQL. From SQL, you move into Python. And Python is the language you'd also use to create your data pipelines that will get the data from all those different sources into your data warehouse. And then you learn Linux for batch scripting. You learn how to get data from different data sources, from databases, from APIs. You learn Apache Spark, Apache Airflow to automate all the different, pipelines. So when the pipelines are getting data from different locations, you want to ensure that they are automated and they don't stop getting the data into the data warehouse. You learn cloud engineering, leveraging AWS as the platform for cloud engineering. And then you learn version control with GitHub and ChatGPT and Copilot as a data engineer. All right. How long does it take you to become a data engineer? Of course, the salary is also absolutely phenomenal because you don't have so many people with the skills. So it is very, very high in demand. And it takes you 5 months to transition into data engineering, 3 months project-based classes, and 2 months internship. 2 months for your internship, working on end-to-end projects. Moving to the Scrum Master. The Scrum Master is another fantastic role. And your role as a Scrum Master is expertise. A Scrum Master is an expert in the Agile methodology, leveraging Agile to delivering projects and delivering products. So you'd see your different applications, your Facebook, your Instagram, your WhatsApp. Today, you cannot share your screen on WhatsApp. Tomorrow, you can share your screen because a new update has been added to WhatsApp. That's only possible using the Agile methodology or the Agile approach to project management. All right. And Agile simply means that you don't have to have everything figured out for that particular project. for you to deploy and give it to your customers. So as a Scrum Master, your role is to ensure that you implement the Agile framework and all the different Scrum rules and the Scrum ceremonies. So you create a product, send it to your customers, the customers would use, you get feedback from customers, make the product a little bit better and keep on delivering updates. Okay, and that's what the Scrum Master does, leveraging the Agile methodology to ensure that products are delivered and are delivered very fast and also delivered incrementally. And that's why you learn something called increments and sprint backlog as a Scrum Master. But it all starts from introduction to Scrum. You understand the Scrum team, the composition of the Scrum team, from the product owner to the Scrum Master to so many other team members, the product backlog. You'd learn increments and the sprint backlogs, the Scrum events, the sprint planning, the sprint review, and so on and so forth. The Nexus Scaled Scrum, which is implementing Scrum on a larger scale across multiple other teams, and of course, would also prepare you for the professional Scrum Master certification exam, would prepare you for that. And you'll be learning this for 2 months. 1 month learning all of this in class, all the different techniques, and then another 1 month working on real world projects where you're going to manage the project of building a web application. And you will be the Scrum Master in the same project where the business analysts are managing the web app. You'll be the Scrum Master on that particular project. All right. So you gain real world experience. You're going to use Jira to track the project deliverables. You would use Trello to collaborate with the team members and ensure that the project is on track and you can track the project progress for that particular task. And last but not the least is a cybersecurity analyst. And as a cybersecurity analyst, you are ensuring that the systems, the network, the data in any organization is protected. And that's your job, to ensure that it is protected. So that's what you focus on as a cybersecurity analyst. And you start with introduction to cybersecurity. So you need to understand what to do, why you need to protect these systems, how did cybersecurity come about, and so on and so forth. The history of networking, computer networking, you understand all of this and you move to information security principles. How do you defend by also playing on the attack as a cybersecurity professional? You learn cryptography, cyber threat and attack vectors, network security, endpoint security, and web and application security. And today, data is in the cloud. A lot of our systems operate on the cloud. So you need to know how to protect all these systems by learning cloud security. And of course, incident response and forensics, and then you move into the security policies and compliance for cyber security. And how long does it take you to get into a cybersecurity role? Earn $140,000 in Canada, 6 figures, $105,000 in the US. It takes 4 months, 3 months project-based classes, and 1 month internship working on real world projects. All right. And those are the skills you need to transition and get into any of those roles. So when you look at the testimonials and our track record, people that have gotten jobs, they leverage the same set of skills, the same set of approach, and they were able to get jobs. And Ifemena would tell us, apart from the skills that you learn, it goes beyond just the skill. You need to know both have the skills and also have something extra, which is your CV, your LinkedIn, how to prepare for interviews. And Ifemena will quickly walk us through that, talk about the amounts for getting into any of these programs, and then we'll get to see you join the next cohort that will be starting on the 3rd of February. So for detailed explanation for all the career path, I focused on the technical areas that you need to learn, but you have a detailed video you can watch that we have created in the past, and I kept the link for you eventually. All right. So when you get the slide, you can listen to that and watch the detailed explanation as you will, okay, or as you please. So if you may now tell us why you should train with us and how we go beyond just the technical to also helping you get the other set of skills. So Ife, over to you.
All right. Yeah, thanks a lot for that, Adeza. And I'm sure you guys have learned a lot today on how you can actually get started and why you need to get started now. All right. Not tomorrow, not next week, but now. Register and get started. Now, if you have a desired career path in which Adeza has spoken about, the key thing, key question you need answered is why should you train with us? Okay. Why should you choose Sun Analytics as your preferred training partner? Okay. And we have, quite a number of achievements that, on our belts that we're going to be using to leverage, in order for you to make a decision. Now, what we did last year was we helped over 850 people get transitioned from the classroom to getting their job. Okay, 850 plus people transition from classroom into getting their first job in the tech space. So if you're in the UK, you're in the US, you're in Canada, you're in Europe or anywhere in Asia, and you're looking to transition, this is the best platform to be on. Now, the key thing you should learn from this is from classroom to getting their first job in the tech space. First job from classroom to getting their first job. 850 plus people last year were able to achieve this. No prior experience, no certification, nothing. Only the training program that we designed, and they went through, completed an internship, and they were able to move from classroom, from just a regular classroom to getting their first job in the tech space. Now, that's based on the achievement. And now, why should you train with us? Okay. Now, we talked about this has run through the curriculum. Okay. We have an up-to-date curriculum, taking a look at the business analysis, for example. The business analysis curriculum, infuses data analytics inside of it. And I want you to do your research. Go out there and look at other business analysis curriculum, and you find out that this is not something that you find out there. All right. The likes of Microsoft Fabrics, that is analytical tools, that the data analysts, the data scientists, the HR financial analytics will get to learn. These are technologies that are not even currently in demand in the industry, but will likely be in demand because we are in the industry. We understand the market, we understand what's attainable. So when you talk about curriculum, you get to learn from the most up-to-date curriculum. Now, you're not just going to be learning the curriculum by yourself. You would also be learning with an industry expert. All right. So you would have an experienced professional guide you through the curriculum, based on the structure that is being provided. You'll be learning through the industry expert. So people that have a wealth of experience, hands-on experience within the industry, you get to learn from them. All right. Now, moving on to blended training delivery. So it's a blend of live classes and what we call watch me do it videos. All right. Watch me do it videos. All right. So the live classes happens every weekend. Okay. But the key question we're trying to answer here is how do we merge fast learners and slow learners together in the same class? Okay. How do we merge fast learners and slow learners together in the same class? And it was very simple. We have the live classes, which is project based, but you still also get watch me do it videos, which are self-paced, bite-sized videos that would allow you to practice on your own. So Monday to Friday, which is your own time, you get the watch me do it videos in which will allow you to practice, understand certain concepts a lot better, and also get you to practice better, get you to know it better and all that. So the live classes, coupled with the watch me do it videos has really helped quite a number of people, easily learn and transition into the tech space. And that's what we provide for you to ensure that you are learning. You're not just copying and pasting. You are learning the technology, the tools, and all the things you need to get done. I'll come back to additional employability services because this is one of the key selling points of what we offer, based on what we offer. All right, additional employability services. Then the internship. This is, by far one of the key things that you need, okay, to get started in the tech space. So it's not just learning the technology, it's not just learning the tools, okay? It's using it in a real life scenario, okay? Where have you used it before? All right, how do you use this tool to solve real life scenario questions or problems? And that's what you'll be learning during the internship. So when you combine all 5 of them together, you become an industry-ready tech professional. So you're learning the best curriculum, you're learning the most up-to-date curriculum through an industry expert like myself, like Adeza, and a pool of other experts you get to work with. You have access to live classes and watch me do it videos. So rather than just the live classes which are recorded, you also get bite-sized watch me do it videos, which encourage you to work and encourage you to practice a lot better by yourself. Okay. And employability services, which I'm going to talk about. Then the internship, which gives you the ability to, see a real life situation and then come up with solutions using the things that you've learned during the master class, during the classes itself. All right. So when you combine all 5 of them together, you become an industry-ready tech professional. All right. Now the key question is, how do we now position you for success in the job market? Okay. So we have this 3-layered approach on which I'm just going to go through. So in the first level, we have 6 content in there for the first level. CV review. So we're going to help you review and revamp your CV. Okay. So if you have experience, you don't have experience. Okay. I've always been a customer service all my life. Okay. How do I now tailor my customer service experience to, data analytics or cybersecurity, for example? Those are the things that would help you to do during CV review. So basically, we help you revamp and review your CV to ensure that it is, attractive to potential recruiters and employers. Secondly, LinkedIn optimization. So whenever you go on LinkedIn, all right, you find out that most recruiters are always on LinkedIn trying to search for the next candidate. The key question is, whenever these recruiters go online to search for their preferred candidate, would your profile appear? Would it surface whenever they do a search? Okay. So just like SEO, search engine optimization, in which Google uses. Okay. The same thing with LinkedIn. Whenever the recruiter is looking for a potential client or potential candidate, would your profile appear? So what we do is we help you optimize your LinkedIn profile to help you rank better. So whenever a search for data analyst, cybersecurity analyst, data engineer, financial analyst, HR analyst, when these roles pop up, all right, your profile will be part of the top 10, part of the top 5, recommendation to the recruiter, okay, via LinkedIn. Upwork optimization, freelance websites where you can work freelance from anywhere in the world and earn in dollars. So we're going to help you optimize your Upwork profile so that whenever a new opportunity comes up, you will rank better, okay, and you will get more opportunities, working freelancing. So you don't even have to even get a full-time job. You can actually hold several freelance projects and you can actually deliver on all of them, okay, and earn significantly, earning in dollars. All right. Navigating the job market is the 4th one, which we teach you how to navigate the job market. So what type of jobs should you apply to? All right, where should you apply for these jobs? All right, a lot of people feel like, oh, I'm currently learning financial analytics. So the next best job for me to apply to is financial analyst. That's what people think. But now there are tons of other jobs you could actually apply to. Something like commercial analyst. Commercial analyst is the same thing as financial analyst, but more in the commercial space. Okay. So the role is the same thing. Okay. Financial planning is another name you could actually call it. So a lot of people don't know. There's, a lot of misconception about the kind of roles you can apply to. And those are the things that will teach you during navigating the job market. We also teach you how to negotiate your salary. We also teach you about the Eden job market, how to gain access to the Eden job market, the types of roles to apply to, how to land remote jobs, how to land, sponsor jobs, and so on and so forth. So basically teaching you how to navigate the job market. Now, moving on to the next thing, job and interview preparation. So if you have a good CV, you have a good LinkedIn profile that is optimized, you know how to navigate the job market, I can guarantee you're going to get interviews. Now, how do you get success? How do you become successful during the interview process? Very simple. Okay. We will prepare you for the interview. All right. We are going to prepare you for the interview. So whenever you apply for a job, you get a call back and you have an interview coming up, we will prepare what we call a mock interview process. So whereby we interview you, okay, like like a real life situation. All right. We give you feedbacks, we give you potential questions that would likely come out, okay, that would likely be asked, okay, during the interview. And you go back to review yourself. I would do it. It's a very, very, very immersive experience to get you well ahead, well aware of what to answer, and how to get prepared for the interview. So, and this has also helped quite a number of our participants, land these jobs because, being the fact that we've been doing this for years, okay, we know the potential questions that would likely come up when you go for these interviews. First level, second level, third level, we know what is expected and how you should tailor yourself during the interview process. And that's what we do for you essentially. All right. Now, recommendation or reference letter is the sixth one in level one. So once you apply for all this job, you get a job, you get an offer. Majority of the recruiters and employers in the UK, in the US, in Canada, or any other advanced country, you find out that they would always ask for a recommendation letter or reference letter from your previous employer. That's where we come in. Because if you've been working as a customer service representative, you won't be able to use them, for the data analyst role you just got, or the data scientist role you just got. It's going to be very difficult. Okay. So that's where we come in to act as a reference to say that, oh, this particular professional has been working with us. These are the projects they've worked on, and this is a recommendation letter. This is we recommended them for the job. Okay. So you have all these at your arsenal. And guess what? The reason why we have all this, okay, embedded in our training program is because while we were transitioning, these things were not available for us. I talked about the fact that I was going through interviews. Okay. All right. Earlier I talked about my experience, and now I was taking different interviews and I was messing up, but I never knew I was messing up until one recruiter from, I don't know, God sent recruiter told me exactly what I was doing wrongly. And just implementing that change, I was able to get a job within a month. So you see, all the things that we've embedded into the training program is just to ensure that you're getting the full worth of your money, the full worth of you transitioning, and goes back to the vision and the mission of Analytics to help more Africans transition into the tech space. So you see the CV review, LinkedIn optimization, navigating the job market, Upwork optimization, interview preparation, recommendation letter. These are the things that we suffered from while we're trying to transition. And those are the things that we have created a solution for, and that's why you should be able to take advantage of it. Okay. Now, weekly mentorship session is on level 2. This is where we bring another set of experts to come and mentor you. All right. So certain questions that you have, burning questions. Oh, how do I transition? How a day in the life of a data engineer, a day in the life of a data analyst or HR analyst. What would I do when I get my job? All this kind of question that you ask, that you have burning within you, you get them answered during the weekly mentorship session. On the job support also is guaranteed. Okay. So once you get a job, you have the on-the-job support, meaning that you have training wheels, meaning that if you once you get a job and you feel like you're not confident enough to, do these jobs by yourself, we will provide you with support. Okay, what we call training wheels. Okay, and once you can start to ride on your own, we take up the training wheels and you can do your stuff. All right. So these things happen. Even people that have completed the training program 2-3 years ago. All right, they still come back to say that, oh, they just got a new job, they're finding this particular thing challenging. How can we provide, solutions for them, and we provide them with on-the-job support. Now, level 3, guaranteed interviews. So what we're doing differently this year is we are now guaranteeing interviews. Okay, interviews that would, with so much preparation would likely get you the job that you're looking for. So the key thing is for you to get interviews. So a lot of people are out there saying that, I wish a recruiter would just say that, let me even talk to this person. Let me just talk to them, all right? So that they can even sell themselves, all right? But a lot of people don't have this opportunity to even open their mouth and talk to the recruiter to tell them about the things that they can do and how they're going to enhance productivity within the business and so on. So what we're trying to do this year is to guarantee interviews for our participants. So you go through Analytics, we guarantee you interviews, all right, in 2024. And I'm going to talk about how we are going to achieve that. Okay. Now, through the new initiative that we're putting in play, number 1 is the body mentorship session. Okay. Body mentorship hub. Now we have a pool of alumni. Last year we did 850 plus people. The year before that we did over 500 people. And the year before that, we've always been getting people jobs into the tech space. And over the years, we've done over 2,000 people. All right. Now, these people are coming back, these alumni, our alumni, they're coming back to say that they want to give back. Okay. They want to help people transition. They want, they were in your shoes a couple of years ago, a couple of months ago in some cases, and they've seen that they can do it and they want to help other people achieve this. So during the Birthday Mentorship Hub, we're going to be bringing in people that have gotten job, our alumni, to help you, to handhold you, so you have all the supports that you need. So the support that support is honestly what most people are looking for to get started. So we provide you with all the support that you need to get started through the Body Mentorship Hub. Now I talked about the internship experience. So what we are designing now is a more robust internship experience where you get more hands-on projects, where you get to work on very, very, realistic and more, projects that you would actually deploy in the real sense of it. You deploy the real project and you get to see the impact in real life, in real time. All right. So basically, you can put it on your CV, you can put it as your work experience, or you work with analytics, and these are the things that you achieve. All right. Now, to guarantee job interviews, we are currently partnering with, or we've secured some partnership, and we're currently working in partnership with, top recruitment firms across the world. So we're currently we're currently securing and have secured some partnerships with these recruitment agencies like Age Recruitment, Robot Half, Avinaj, okay, Michael Page, Adecco, Manpower, Conferry, Kelly Services, and Tech Systems, and so many other ones. Small, large corporations, recruitment firms, one person, two person, corporations that exist in the UK, in the US, in Canada, and across the world. And the key thing for us is to see how we can get more Africans into the tech space. So if you're looking to get it started, or you have a friend, a family member looking to get it started, this is the place to be. All right. So if you're looking to join our next cohort, it's starting on the 3rd of February 2024. All right. 3rd of February 2024. So technically just a couple of maximum 5 days in order for the cohort to start. But definitely, obviously, the discounts that we have running for this set of people is only available for the 10 people that are looking to get started. So this is our last round of discounts available for people looking to get started. So if you're looking to get started in data analytics, business analysis, HR analytics, financial analytics, full stack data science, all right, if you're looking to get into any of these 5 career paths, all right, the full amount is $750 or 625 pounds equivalent, or 900,000 naira. All right. So is either you pay this in full, okay, but the first 10 people to register, okay, will get a discount. Okay. So the first 10 people get a discount. Now the discount is, rather than you paying $750 in full, you could actually pay $600. And the good thing about this is you can pay in 2 installments. So you can split this $600 into 2 installments, the discounted amount. So rather than you pay this full amount, $750,000 at once, $750 at once, all right, you could actually pay the discounted amount and pay in 2 installments. Okay, all right. So $600, you could actually start with this $450 to secure your position for the class starting on the 3rd of February. Okay, and 1 month, you see it here, balance of the second payment after 1 month into the training program. So the balance of $150 comes 1 month into the training program. 1 month into the training program. Now, obviously, if you're in the UK or you're somewhere in Europe, you could also pay in pounds. So the discounted amount for those guys in pounds is £500. You could also pay in 2 installments of £375 and £125. So all you need to do now is to pay this amount to secure your discount. All right. This is all you need to pay now to secure your discount. If you're in the US, you're in Canada, all you need to pay is $450. If you are in the UK or anywhere in Europe, you need to pay £375 in order for you to get started. Okay. Now, for data engineering and cybersecurity, the price is a little bit different. Okay. So the full amount is $900 or £750 equivalent. Now, discounted amount in which what we are recommending you to pay for the first 10 people, okay, is $750 and £625 equivalent. Okay, and with the discounted amount, the same thing, you can get to pay in 2 installments. So in order for you to secure your position now, $550 for the first payment, all right, or £460 equivalent. And the second payment, which I said earlier, comes 1 month into the training program. After 1 month into the training program, so your balance of 200 at all, 165 pounds equivalent 1 month into the training program. All you need to do now is to secure your position with this particular amount. Now, for the Scrum Master, also price is different. This is $450 or £375 equivalent, in which the discounted amount is $350 or £295. And you can also split this in 2 installments. Okay, the discounted amount can be split in 2 installments, and you could get 250, all right, or £200 equivalent, and you balance £195, all right, 1 month into the training program. So this is all you need to do. All you need to do now is to pay this, all right, be part of the first 10 people to take advantage of this particular discount. Okay, all right, and that's all you need, to be honest with you. So if you miss out on the discount, you will need to pay the full amount once. All right, no installmental payment for full payment. For full amount, you have to pay once. But for the discounted amount, you can pay in 2 installments. All right, so take advantage of this discount and get yourself registered now. Okay, get yourself registered now, now, now. Okay, so for the guys that are looking to get it started, click the link, all right, mainstack.me.enroll. Okay, it's been sent to the chat already. You'll see it's mainstack.me.enroll. So click on that and it should take you to this page. Okay, all right. All right, so it takes you to this page. This is the 10 Analytics Enrollment Center. Okay, all you need to do is you see everything is provided for you. Now get access to all the program brochure. Okay, so if you want to take a look at the brochure, okay, click here and it takes you to the brochure. Now the brochure basically is a more detailed, document of what the program entails. So take for example, you are interested in data engineering. Okay, I'm going to double click on data engineering. And just to give it a few seconds, you see this brochure basically gives you a detailed run through of what the program entails. All right, starting from the beginning, the program overview, what you would learn, the curriculum. So the curriculum is more spelled out. All right, the introduction, data engineering fundamentals, programming, Python programming, what would you learn there? SQL, what would you learn? Batch command and version control, what would you learn? And so on. And basically, it's more detailed. And that's the same thing with every other career path. Take a look at the Scrum Master, the same thing. What would you be learning? The curriculum, why become a Scrum Master, and all the things that you need to know, the program, what it entails, and so on. Everything is detailed in there. All right. And that's the same thing with every other career path that we have there. So if you're looking to get it started and you want to take a look at the brochure, all you need to do is just get access to the all program brochures in here, click here, and it takes you to that page. It takes you to the Google Drive that contains all the documents you need to get started. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is if you want to pay, all right, all you need to do is just scroll down. Okay. And if you do want to do it direct transfer, if you're in the UK, you want to do it direct transfer, this is the account number to do the direct transfer. All right. For non-Naira card payments, okay, so you want to pay in dollars, you want to pay in pounds, you want to pay in Canadian dollars, whatever you want to, whatever currency you want to make payments. You see all the career parts are in there. So take for example, you're looking at getting started in business analysis. Okay, click on business analysis, and it's going to take you to the business analysis course page that will permit you to make payment. Okay. And if it's whatever career path you're looking at, if it's Scrum Master, click on Scrum Master. If it is data analytics, click on data analytics, and so on and so forth. Now, if it is data engineering, the same thing. I'm just going to open data engineering also, so you can see everything at once. Okay. Better still, if you want to look at everything at the same time, just the same way you're seeing it on this page, all right, you could just come to the top, right click, and open in a new tab. Okay, so I'm going to open this one in a new tab, and you see this is the same what you just saw on the main page. If you click on Visit Store, all right, it takes you to this page that shows you all the curriculum, all the program essentially. All right. So for data engineering, if you're looking to make a payment, or you see it here, £622. £622. Meanwhile, all right, you see here, all you need to do for data engineering is 625. £625. So because of the exchange rate, it's actually showing me so the actual exchange rate for these $750 is actually amounting to 622 instead of 625. So if you make a payment, a full payment now, you are getting, £3, 2.5 pounds, discount. Do you understand? Further discount, exchange rate discount. Okay. But if you are looking to just pay the discounted amount, you just want to pay secure your discount at this point in time, all you need to do is, or for pounds, all you need to do is pay 460. All right. So you just type in 460, all right, and click on reserve a seat. So that will give you permission to pay, that amount. Okay. And if you are currently in another currency, like you don't want to see it in pounds, you don't want to see, you want to see it in dollars or whatever currency you want to see it. Okay. All you need to do is click on visit store. Okay. All right. You would see GPP. This is in pounds. So I could change it to USD and I can see it in US dollars. Okay. So take, for example, I want to do the, let's say business analysis. Okay. I'll just click on business analysis. All right. Takes you to business analysis and it's the same thing. So now this is $600, which is the same thing I have here. So, but I need to pay $450 to get my slot. Okay. All I need to do is just come here and type in $450 to make the payment and proceed to pay. And that's it. And that's all you need to do. All right. And that's all you need to do. You put in your email, your phone number, full name, phone number, proceed, and you check out. Okay. So these are the things that you can do to secure your space today. To secure your space today. This discount is only available for the first 10 people to register. The first 10 people to register. So, like we mentioned earlier, there are a ton of testimonials that exist at this point in time. We have a ton of testimonials. We have a ton of people that have gone ahead to get in this job. A ton of them. So if you're in the UK, you're in the US, you're in Canada, you are anywhere in the world, and you're looking to get it started in the tech space this year, we are here for you. Okay. And one thing we always say is it always seems impossible. It always seems so difficult until somebody else goes ahead to do it. Okay. So one thing you should have at the back of your mind is try. Just try. Okay. We personally would never knew we would, we'll grow this much in the industry before we started. But eventually, see where we are now, working for different organizations, working for some of the top Fortune 500 organizations in the world, and those are the things, those are the benefits that you get from this. So you get all the support that you need, you get all the support, you get all the help, all the hand holding that you need to get started. All right. The key thing is for you to get started. So, all right. I don't see any questions in the chat. Let me see. I don't see any questions in the chat. So let me see the people that are getting registered. If you are looking to getting started, let me see a one in the chat quickly. I think somebody's asking about payment real quick. Let me just confirm that. Okay. So if you've made payment, all right, if you've made payment, all you need to do is upload the receipt. So once you've made payment, all you need to do is upload your receipt. So all you need to do is come to payment registration, the payment, come to the same link, mainstack.me/enroll, the same analytics enrollment center. Come back here, all right, and you see payment registration form. So whenever you make payments, there will be a transaction receipt. Either it's a screenshot or it's a screenshot of the email that was sent to you, or you paid a direct transfer, take a screenshot of the debit alert or whatever the case might be. All right. Come here to upload your receipt here. So once you click on upload your receipt here, it's going to take you to this particular page for you to input all your details. All right. And you can get started from there. All right. Types of payment, if you made payment, full payment, initial payment, whatever payment you made, you signify in there. So it's very, very intuitive, to be honest with you. Very intuitive, very easy for you to get started, and you can actually work with that. Okay. So basically, register for any of the training program. Once we hit 10 people, that's the end. We're not taking any other person for this particular port. So if you're looking to get started, this is the best time for you to get started. All right. So please, when is the next quote after February? This February. We have the next quote in March. So we run this every month. So every month there's a new cohort starting every single month. So March, April, May, June, July, all the way to December, we'll be having new cohorts. Okay, so that's one key thing you need to know. What's the age preference for the newbie? There's no age preference. There is absolutely no age preference. I can share with you a ton of testimonials of people that have gone ahead. Two, I don't want to say that, I don't want, obviously, I don't want to put their age in front, but we have quite a number of people that have gone transition, got jobs. All right. People with 15, 20, 30 years of experience coming to learn and also getting jobs within the tech ecosystem. All right. So you see, that age is not a limitation for you to get started. Okay. It's absolutely not a limitation. And what I want you to do really is for you to try. Okay. Just try. If you try and you see that once you start and you transition, you will remember that you remember exactly what I said today when I'm telling you to just try. What time? What time is the class? Is it on Saturday or Sunday? Yeah, our class is majorly on Saturdays and Sunday, depending on the curriculum that you're taking. Okay, so if you're going for data analytics, business and data analytics, HR analytics, financial analytics, full stack data science, the class is majorly on Saturdays. So basically, it depends on the course that you're taking. But majority of the time, all our classes are on weekends, Saturdays, and on Sunday. All right, so 3 hours on Saturday, on in some cases 3 hours on Sunday, depending on the course that you are registering for. But all that will be provided to you once you make payments and you provide the information. A welcome kit will be sent to you that would have all these details, all right, in there. Okay, that's a Chidima. Martins also is asking a question. Would there be any discount available for next cohort? So discount is only available for the current cohort, not for the next month, not for the coming month. Okay, you can actually pay it now and secure a discount for next month. Okay, but the discount that you see currently is these are the discounts for the cohort starting in February, not for the March, April, May, June, July. So it's not going to be available all through the year. This is just an early bird discount, a late discount for people that are looking to get started. So we got a lot of messages to say that, oh, can you allocate the time for the discounts? Can you give more people chance to make payment for the discounted amount? Hence the reason why we are still running discounts this late for people to get started. Okay. So if you're looking to get it started, let's say in March, you could actually secure your space now, just discount now. You won't be paying the full amount in next month. You will just be completing the discounted amount for the program. Okay, so the best thing you could do for yourself now is to secure the training in March, okay, using the discount available today. All right. So I think that's just about it. Okay. Please, if I registered last year but couldn't attend the program. Josh, do you want to just send us an email? Okay, I'll say you should send a message to an email to Elijah. Okay, Elijah at tenanalytics.org. All right, so send a message, send an email to tenanalytics at elijah.org. Okay, Elijah at tenanalytics.org. So, Josh, please send a message to the email provided. Okay, and we'll take it up from there. So we need to do a little bit of back date. We need to track that. Okay, so thanks a lot for that. Yeah, I think that's basically it. When's the next course after February? Like I said, every month. Every month we run every first Saturday of every month a new quarter starting. Okay, so please don't take your time to start. Okay, don't take your time to start. All right, start, and start. That's the key thing. Just start. That's one thing I usually tell most people. A lot of people are always trying to make a lot of decision, a lot of factors. You're waiting for all the stars to align in order for you to start. I can tell you for free that it's not going to align. Oh, when my this is not available, when my that is not available, when this is available, when this is available, that's when I can start. But I'll tell you for those things will never just align at the same time. So you need to create that time for you to start. That's one thing I'll tell you. Okay. All right. So we are still going to be having a clarity session on Tuesday for people that have secured their space, okay, or people that want to make a decision and they're still confused. What career path should I take? I've had experience in customer service, I've had experience in the healthcare, and I'm looking to transition into the tech space, but I don't know what career path to take on. We have a clarity session on Tuesday, which is technically tomorrow in some places. If you're in Nigeria or you're in the UK, that's tomorrow, Tuesday. All right. But for the guys in Canada, okay, that will be on Tuesday, okay, which is a couple of days' time for us, okay? Just Monday, Tuesday. All right. So we'll be having the clarity session on Tuesday for people that still want to make a decision, but you don't know you don't know where you lie at this point in time. Okay. So we'll be having a clarity session on Tuesday. But one key thing I like to tell most people, because they come into the clarity session, 10 people would have elapsed by then, okay, by Tuesday, and they still want to pay the discounted amount, which is not what we are saying. Okay. So most people usually feel bad because they miss that discounted amount and they have to pay the full amount, okay, because they waited late to secure that position. So one thing I will tell you now, even if you're still trying to make a decision, you could actually pay the discounted amount now, secure your space, okay? You can secure your space now and get in the clarity session and then select the training program. Have a discussion with myself or Adeza, and then you can go ahead to select the course that would work for you. Then you can start, okay? Or you would have had your discount, you would have gotten your discount already, okay? So key thing here, long story short, take advantage of the discount running at this point in time and register, okay? So on Tuesday, we'll be taking any questions people have, and we can take it up from there. Adeza, do you want to take anything else? Do you have anything to say?
No, I think just to say, I think you've done pretty much everything that I'd love to say. If you have any brothers, any sisters, colleagues, friends that you think can benefit from this opportunity, send it to them. We've had people who joined the session, registered their younger brothers to attend. They completed it, got jobs eventually. We've had parents who joined, recommended this to their, sons, recommended it to their family members, and they got to join the session, and eventually they got the maximum benefits, which is to land a job at the end of the day. So share it with your colleagues, your friends, family members that you think would benefit from it. Okay. And one thing I would just like to say as well is, irrespective of whenever you decide to get into tech, just always remember that Tenalytics is there for you. Okay. Follow us across all our platforms, Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on different other platforms, Threads, and you get to see on LinkedIn as well. And also go on YouTube, check us out, subscribe, like our videos, see the amazing transition journey. And whenever we have anything coming up, you'd be the first person to know when you follow us across our channels. All right. So thank you very much, guys. I think we've had a wonderful session. Have a wonderful week ahead. And until I see you in class, come 3rd of February or 2nd of March, have an amazing time, guys. Ife.
All right, guys. Cheers and have a wonderful time also. Okay. See you guys in main class. Cheers to then. Bye, everyone.